going to pull this meeting back together. I apologize for the length of our debate. This brings us down to our consent agenda. I believe items 5 and 6 will be pulled. 1 through 4. Any other items to be pulled? So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
22.
22. 7.
I'd make a motion to approve all the rest.
Motion for the remainder by Crawford, second by Atkins. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, can I get a motion for the appointments A through M? Motion by Sin, second by Schneider. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Give me just 1 minute.
Did you abstain, Nancy?
I did.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you, sorry.
All right, back to our agenda. Item 1, LU 2307. Can I get a
Motion
motion?
to approve.
Motion by Crawford, second by Goddard. This, see.
I just wanted Jackie to give us an update.
Oh, yeah.
Just a brief.
Jackie, can you come up here and just kind of give us an overview, maybe some of the highlights?
Can we just put 1,
1 through, yeah.
2, or 1?
Yeah.
This one.
This is the easy one, Jack.
So the first amendment has to do with, special use first variance request for increasing building size in residential districts. We've always taken those as a special use. Every other district looks at those as a variance. So it's just cleaning up that language to allow residential district increased size of buildings by special use versus, by variance versus special use.
Okay, any other questions on that?
So that, then they takes them out of like coming to ZBA? Is that?
They still come to ZBA for a variance,
Okay.
just not a special use. It's just consistent with all of their districts.
Okay, any other questions? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Can I get a motion for LU 2308? Motion by Goddard, second by Bruce Stimson.
So this was amended back in January when we passed amendment 63. At that time, we included that Class A request for, special use and variance would be given more than 45-day notice when Public Act 102-1123 was passed. That stated that we could give no more than 45-day notice. So right now we are looking at Class B requests, no less than 15 days, no more than 45. Class A requests will all be not less than 30 days and not more than 45 days.
Questions? Russ?
So what we did is we are totally compliant with the new public act in the state of Illinois, but we went right up to it because we were trying to balance being consistent with the right to notify owners and property neighbors of what's going on. So that's what we did. I thought was good.
Any other questions? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Can I get a motion for LU 2309? Motion by Atkins, second by Schneider. Wind energy code?
So the wind energy code was updated in multiple areas because it was in need of significant updates. There were updates with regards to definitions that were compliant with the AMA as well as the new state act. In addition to when applications are required, those were specifically addressed by whether it was at the time of special use or at the time of permitting. There was some question of what should have been submitted for an application for special use versus at the time of permit. so that was clarified. There were other items such as setbacks for, both, excuse me, we're talking about just wind, for wind in compliance with the AMA. Additionally, there were areas that were also included with regards to compliance and complaint process and other, reports that were to be at least of all provided. I worked with Dan Parr on the language for, road use agreements, which do come later. Drainage tile areas were included. There's some areas in red that were recommended as something to consider by ZBA, and then, the land use committee chose to include those items as well as what is in bold. Non-conforming structures are addressed.
Any questions? Greg?
Is this totally done? Maybe not. Are we under a hard line? Yes, we are. It has to be passed tonight. This is a pretty good, of everything. I kinda like some other things that could go into it, but, I thought there's a compelling argument for this aircraft detected biking system. Maybe it's not ready, maybe, I don't want to just open up everything for just tonight. Maybe it's something that we can look at in the next couple of months and stuff like that. If there's some stuff that we can, tweak on this stuff, not wait forever, but start it in a couple of months, maybe work with the other group and stuff and come up with something together and try to, tuck this in a little bit. I'd say I like that. Maybe we can address that later. But I guess the one question I did have, I think the rail splitter lady brought it up. We discussed that in length at land use, about if the decommissioning funds were not available, does it go to, if it didn't cover either the owner or the decommissioning, was the land, it goes to the property owner. I guess it could be nebulous just because if we do our job every 4 years doing that, making sure the costs are right, and we do our job to make sure it's bonded right, maybe this doesn't mean anything. I kind of think it was kind of put in to deter people from signing up, and maybe it's fine, maybe it doesn't mean anything, but it was brought up and I don't know if we want to take that out or not.
Bill?
I'd like to move to amend, all of you have at your, seat a copy of this amendment, and there are copies on the table, by the door. I'm seeking to amend the second to last sentence in section 153.05. It would read as currently written, but at the end where it says, any other state and or federal statutes and regulations in addition to those specified herein, comma, would be added, including consideration of the substantive due process requirements of the Illinois Constitution, sometimes referred to as the LaSalle-Sinclair factors, as follows, and then these LaSalle and Sinclair factors are listed. So I'd like to offer that as an amendment.
Is there a second? Second by Deborah. Discussion on the amendment? Has the state's attorney reviewed this?
Can I speak to that?
Yes, please.
The state's attorney's office has reviewed this, and we have a disagreement regarding, I don't think we have a disagreement regarding what the General Assembly tried to do. I think we have a disagreement regarding the effect of it. I think both of us, or all three of us, the two assistant state's attorneys I've spoken with and me, and also Mr. Jacoby who spoke earlier, I think we all agree that the General Assembly attempted to make an end run around constitutional law. The difference here is that I don't think that they have the ability to do that. And so, in my opinion, the way in which this particular language that's already in this section can be interpreted, either it doesn't attempt to address the Constitution, in which case the constitutional requirements are still in effect, or it attempts to address the constitutional requirements, and it does it attempting to do away with the substantive due process issues that have been identified by the Supreme Court and carried out by courts throughout the state for 50, 60 years, maybe more. If it is an attempt to do away with those constitutional requirements, I don't think that the General Assembly has that authority. That doesn't mean I don't think they're trying to. I think that they frequently try to flout the Constitution. Sometimes they're successful for some period of time. For instance, well, I'm not going to get into all the times that the General Assembly has tried to flout the Constitution. That's going to take too long. So what I will say instead is that I think that the better interpretation, and one that I think the Supreme Court would require a lower court to take, is that in fact the General Assembly was attempting, although in a very badly worded way, attempting to get to the fact that the supreme law of the land is the Constitution and that it still has to be followed, and that's what they actually meant when they said any other state and or federal statutes and regulations in addition to those specified herein, essentially getting to if there's any other applicable law, then you have to follow it. So essentially, in my opinion, even if we don't include this language, the LaSalle and Sinclair factors still apply, but I think that it's a good idea to make it actually a part of our ordinance so that it is clear that we do respect the Constitution in Tazewell County.
Any comments on the amendment? Greg?
So the only part I think I liked was the part that if anything law would change, it would automatically update our code to follow whatever the new law is, so, but I don't know, I don't think that's what we've got here. I guess I would ask our own state's attorney opinion on this, cause it sounded like it was different than the resolution. I did not think LaSalle Sinclair factors worked in this, and I think if we added that in, that would make our code bad, towards wind and solar. If they don't, and then we'd be asking people to do this when, and then we wouldn't have it, you know, how we vote, you know, we tell them to do this, and then, and if we're strapped on how the state says, I guess I want what the state's attorney's opinion on this, please.
Matt or Mike, you want to comment on this amendment?
Well, sure, just briefly, I would just refer to the comments that I've already presented to the board regarding the consideration of these factors. I don't want to provide any further legal advice in open session, but I think everyone was present and understood the advice that Mr. Drake and I have rendered to the board regarding the consideration of these factors and whether they're included in the ordinance or when considering a particular application.
Mr. Chairman, I'd ask for a roll call vote on the amendment.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Nick?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question is, assuming that you are correct and the state Supreme Court or appellate court makes this determination, couldn't we add these factors at that point?
As I said, I think that a court will make these factors part of their analysis anyway. This is really, I think, more symbolic than anything because, in my opinion, these are the law regardless of what the intent was of the General Assembly.
Any other comments on the amendment? Right?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I think, you know, seems like we always seem to want to put the Constitution in a different compartment, and we do need to remind everyone that we have to abide by a Constitution. So I think it's a nice bit of language that is included to remind us that we do live under a Constitution, whether we like it or not. So, here, Bill.
Any other comments, questions? Roll call on the amendment. Vote yes. You're agreeing to put this language into our window ordinance. John?
Crawford.
Aye.
Deppert.
Yes.
Mark Goddard. Sam Goddard.
No.
Graff.
No.
Hagman.
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Josting,
Yes.
Crable,
Yes.
Longfellow,
Yes.
Mennel,
Yes.
Mingus,
Yes.
Nelms,
Yes.
Paget,
Yes.
Frail,
No.
Rich Stimson,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sin,
No.
Smith,
Yes.
Atkins,
Yes.
Okay, the amendment passes. We're back to the resolution as amended. Russ?
We've had a long discussion, so I'll make this very brief. I agree with, Mr. Sin, don't let perfect be the enemy of improvement. I don't think anybody in this room was satisfied with the ordinance that we've had for the last 13 years. It was not a bad one 13 years ago, but over time it got flawed. It lost protections and safety features, and we tried to put it back in. But Greg is right, and I've told the committee this on land use. We can continue to make it better over time. So I hope we have a positive. Oh no, I hope the vote is, what did you say, Dave? We're voting.
This is a separate issue. This is on the wind ordinance.
Yeah, the wind ordinance. So yeah, I hope it's yes, thanks.
Mike,
Couple questions. The decommissioning.
can you use your mic, Mike?
Couple questions. I'm not clear on the decommissioning cost. Can the county become liable at any point, or can the adjacent land farmers become liable at any point for the decommissioning?
So not under this ordinance, I guess I don't understand how adjacent landowners.
I just asked.
Yeah, no, that isn't the case, and the provision was put in, was included. I'll just read the sentence. After all available decommissioning funds have been utilized, the property owner of record is responsible for any remaining costs to complete the decommissioning plan.
Thank you. And then the other comment is, we're saying we have to pass the amendments tonight to meet state law, and then comments have been made that, oh, we'll refine it later. Can we refine it later?
There are some minor changes I believe we can make in the future. Bill?
In answer to Mr. Harris's question, I think that it was a bit idealistic, the answer that was given. As I recall, under state law, there was no way that we could be responsible for the Beacon landfill. I think that we ended up being responsible for the Beacon landfill. In Peoria County, there was no way they would be responsible for the American Mausoleum. And they currently are the ones administering the American Mausoleum. Basically, if you have a structure that is not decommissioned and there are no funds available from any of the people that have an interest in that structure, then we have the option of leaving the whatever structure there, or we take action at our cost, and maybe somewhere down the road we do eventually get something back from someone, although frankly I doubt it. So while I think that the question was answered correctly legally, as a practical matter, I think that it's exactly the opposite answer.
Russ?
I love Bill Atkins. But he's totally wrong on this, and I'm on the committee, and we, I almost answered Mike's question, because Mike, the whole reason we put this language in there, which by the way came from the group, was that we did not want Tazewell County taxpayers holding the bag on any funds that were created by decommissioning in excess of what was budgeted. So that's, and we thought, we really didn't want to name the landowner. On the other hand, most of us felt like they're the ones benefiting from the farm, they're the ones that have a revenue stream. They're making a business decision in order to do that, so they need to factor that in. So that's why we did that, Mike. And so I do not, I mean, I never know what lawyers are gonna do or courts are gonna do. But with that caveat, I will say that we've done everything we can to get the Tazewell County taxpayers off the hook.
All right, any other questions on the wind energy code amendment as amended? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Raise your hands. Motion passes. Motion passes. Motion for LU 2310, amendment to the solar energy code. Motion by Atkins. We have a second by Rich Stimson. Any questions on this? Bill?
At this time, I would like to move to amend, section 156.06, parens capital A, parens 1, parens small d, although I believe in our actual resolution it's improperly a second B, but I think it should be D. And I would amend that by adding at the end of that section, including consideration of the substantive due process requirements of the Illinois Constitution, sometimes referred to as the LaSalle-Sinclair factors, as follows, and then the factors are listed.
Questions on the amendment?
Do we have a second?
Oh, yeah.
I'll second.
Second by Crawford. Questions on the amendment? All those in favor of the amendment signify by aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Aye.
Raise your hand. Amendment passes. Back to the original amendment as amended. Are there questions? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
Amendment passes. I'm gonna skip down to LU 2312, the Catmint solar one. Can I get a motion to get this on the floor? Motion by Schneider, second by Sin. Questions? Comments on this? Yes, Max.
Could you explain the vote, please?
So, if we vote yes, we agree with land use and there will be no solar farm. If you vote no, you will allow the solar farm in this area.
Correct.
So no allows this and yes agrees with it. Are there any questions?
What was the reason, we chose 12 before 11?
Because I chose to do it that way. So-
Okay, all right, I just wanna
Alright.
make sure we did.
So again, a yes denies building the solar farm, a no allows the solar farm. All those in favor? Wait,
Mr. Chairman?
yes. Yes, Nick?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As much as I hate to say this, because I think it's stupid, this is not the spot for a solar farm. But because of the state legislature and our governor today, he's making it and they're making it a violation of state law, which subjects the county to lawsuits if we don't abide by the law. I will vote to allow this. In other words, I will vote no to allow this. But I am not doing it because I want to do it. I want to make that clear, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
And that's been our state's attorney's advice. Any other questions?
Other than I totally agree with
Okay.
Can I ask for roll call?
Yes. So let me just reiterate it one more time before he goes. You vote yes, there's no solar there. You vote no, it allows it. So John, call the roll.
Deppert?
Defer. Defer.
You want me to come back to you at the end? Okay. Mark Goddard? Sam Goddard?
No.
Graff?
No.
Hagman?
No.
Paul?
Abstain.
Harris,
Yes.
Josting,
No.
Crable,
Yes.
Longfellow,
No.
Mennel,
Yes.
Mingus,
Yes.
Nelms,
No.
Pageant,
Yes.
Frail,
No, reluctantly.
Rich Simpson,
Yes.
Schneider,
No.
Sen,
No.
Smith,
Yes.
Atkins,
No.
Crawford,
Aye.
Deppert,
No.
So for the Catmint solar, that will be allowed. And motion passes. Okay. Jackie, can you help us with the findings of fact?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have the findings or some available?
So the findings as presented at ZBA were all in a positive, so if you wish to revert those back to the positive, you can do that.
So what you're recommending is that for the finding of facts, all of those that the board found, let's pull the resolution and check it, please. Give us a minute to check it, I don't have the physical one in front of me. Okay, so it says, so for number one, it came back positive, that stays. Number two, special use will be consistent with purposes, goals, and objectives. That was negative, we're changing that to positive.
Yes.
Correct.
Motion. I'm sure about it. But we might go with it, yeah. Number three, I have down that the petitioner has met the requirements of Article 25 as positive, that remains.
Correct.
I have Article 4, the site shall be situated to minimize adverse effects, that's a negative, you wanna change that to a positive?
Correct.
That's going to a positive. Item 5, the establishment, maintenance, and operations, that is a negative, we're switching that to a positive.
Correct.
Number 6, the special use shall not be injurious to the use or enjoyment, that is a negative, we're changing that to a positive.
Correct.
Number 7, the special use shall not substantially diminish, that one is a negative, we're changing that to a positive. Correct?
Correct.
Number 8, adequate utilities, access roads, that is a positive, remains.
Correct.
Number 9, adequate measures have been or will be taken to provide ingress, that is a positive, it remains.
Correct.
Number 10 was not applicable. Number 11 was not applicable. Number 12, 75% of the site contains soils, that's a positive, it remains.
Correct.
Number 13, the special use is consistent with the existing uses, that is a negative, it goes to positive.
Correct.
Number 14, the property is suitable for special use as proposed, it is a negative, it goes to a positive.
Correct.
Okay. I am taking it that your office will supply us with any language changes other than that just needs to be put in here, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Do we need a motion?
Do we need a motion for that? Can I get a motion to approve the findings? Motion by Sin, second by Graff. Any questions?
Roll call.
Roll call on the findings of fact.
Yes, sir.
Okay, John, can you call it?
Give me just one moment.
A yes approves the findings of fact that were just corrected. And a no denies them.
Mark Goddard? Sam Goddard?
Yes.
Graff?
Yes.
Agman?
Yes.
Hall? Mennel,
No.
Mingus,
Yes.
Nelms,
Yes.
Fred, Paget,
No.
Frail,
Yes.
Rich Simpson,
No.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sin,
Yes.
Smith,
No.
Atkins,
Yes.
Crawford,
No.
Deppert,
Findings of fact, pass. All right. I guess at this point, LU 2311, is it your intent to request withdrawal? Okay, so noted for the record that LU 2311 has been withdrawn. Thank you. Can I get a motion for T 2315? Motion by Mennel, second by Longfellow. Greg, I think you pulled this.
Yeah, I'm sorry to take time, but, I just wanted to review it. This is a substantial amount of money, about $1.1 million, so I thought it needed an explanation. About, 2 years ago, at budget time, we were budgeting to repair our existing, salt storage facility to the tune of around $200,000. And, in December, our salt storage was blown away by the storm. So we have been out without one since. The insurance company did come in and build us a temporary one, which they're gonna leave. But anyway, so we went for bids. We picked option 3, which I believe, we had 3 options way back, long time ago. But anyway, we went for bids. The bids came in pretty close, and we chose the low, bidder. This is gonna be and then also we have insurance, funds coming in to offset a lot of the cost of this. And so this is a bigger facility, much more user-friendly. It's gonna be relocated so we can, better use, our facility out there. And, so I, recommend passing this. I think it's a good thing. And also the temporary storage, we're gonna be able to use to store equipment in, which we're very short on storage for equipment. So I think it's a win-win.
Great, thanks for that explanation, Greg. Are there any questions? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That brings us to item 22, E2390. Can I get a motion to put this on the floor? Motion by Nell, second by Rich Stimpson. Russ, you pulled this?
Yeah, I withdraw. I don't have any comments. Thank you.
Okay. All right. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We do have an in-place executive committee meeting. Let's see, can I get approval of the calendar is presented? Motion by Krievel, second by Longfellow. Any changes? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So we're gonna,
Unless I was sleeping.
all right, just for everyone's sake, we're gonna have an in-place executive committee meeting, cover a couple issues, and then we're gonna go into executive session again. And there's no real action after that. We're gonna approve a change order for a contract and, approve a GIS flyover. Those are the only 2 actions.
You want to do those now, Chairman?
Well, we need to have an in-place executive committee and then
I got it.
executive session within
All
that.
right.
So, all right, so we're in place executive. Sandy, if you could call the roll for executive, please.
Chairman Zimmerman?
Here.
Vice Chairman Harris? Atkins?
Here.
Pratt?
Present.
Hall,
Here.
Joseph,
Here.
Longfellow,
Here.
Mennel,
Here.
Mingus,
Here.
Trail, Rich Stinson, Schneider,
Here.
We have a quorum, we'll do some business here. Can I get a motion from the executive committee for E2391? This is for a change order, motion by Schneider, second by Graff. Any questions on this? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? You can go home now, Jim. I don't think so. All right, can I get a motion for E2392, the GIS flyover? Motion by Atkins, second by Schneider. Jackie, you wanna just give us a real quick, we talked about this in executive.
Sure, in 2019, we entered into a two-project contract with Eagle View for aerial data, which includes ortho photography and obliques. We were due to do that second project last year. It got postponed this year. In doing so, we had a chance to talk about what we received for the first project, made some amendments to that will provide approximately a $21,000 savings for the overall project.
Any questions for Jackie on that? Executive committee, all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Can I get a motion to go into executive session citing 5 ILCS 122C5, purchase of real property? Motion by Mingus, second by Rich Simpson. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, we are in executive session. And I ask members of the public to step out.